Gotta set like days, like standard days that we go live.
Yeah.
Especially if we're gonna do 2 days, like Monday and Wednesdays, we're always live or something like that.
It might be tough for me to do 2 days every week in the summer, just while the summer's going on. Obviously, in the winter, I'll have a ton more time. But
Well, I know. I just like to have like set days, and then like if we need to like put out a post saying like, hey, we're moving Mondays to Tuesday or whatever, however we do it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, last night was a complete sports drought. There was nothing to watch. And then I had a ton of people come in for that soccer game late. And of course, you know, I'm such a huge soccer fan. And it was just the worst. I hated it.
Where's our resident Tottenham Hotspurs fan at?
Yeah.
Probably blowing his hair.
He just had a kid, dude. He's probably dealing with that.
Yeah. He's a little busy at the moment.
Yeah.
He's earned it.
Yeah, right. Everybody okay? Annie okay?
Yeah, from everything I hear is everyone is happy, healthy, and good to go.
Good.
So I'm
Good
happy
news.
for them. It's awesome.
Good news. Good news.
Dusty, you want to fire us off, man?
Yeah. Brooks, you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast. It is July 2nd as we record. Happy 4th of July. To those of you listening, you'll probably be hearing this around then if you're not joining us live. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Orioles Rangers series. Heston Kierstad having a great series. Kobe Mayo just putting up ridiculous numbers down on the farm. We're going to talk a little bit about the new home run derby format, whether we like it or not. Gunner's going to be in it, so that'll be really cool to watch. James Wood made his debut Monday night for the Nats. That was last night as we record this. We're going to go do our That's a Shame segment as always, and then our snake draft today will be 4th of July foods. So, yeah, Orioles 53-31, tied for first in the AL East. We kind of made it through that hell month of June, that crazy stretch at 17-12. And I think going into the month, every one of us would have taken anything over 500. So 17-12 sounds good. We set a franchise record for home runs in a single month. Third all-time by any MLB team with 60 home runs in June, which is over 2 per game, which is crazy.
It helps when you only have one day off.
Yeah, for sure. We last recorded right before the Rangers series started, so pick up from the start of the Rangers series. What did you guys see this weekend out of the O's? 3-1.
Go ahead, Brooks.
Everything all good until that last game when we got shelled, but I mean,
yeah,
kudos to them. I think that's probably the last start we see from Cole Irvin. Unfortunately, because he's been a good stalemate for a while here, trying to hold it together. So I think he'll move back to the bullpen. And other than that, everything was fucking awesome. Silent J with the big bomb. It's good to see every time he's in the lineup. It seems like he's producing right now. So, yeah, I mean, great start by Burns. Great start by pretty much everybody besides Irvin, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, can't complain. Everything looks good. Obviously, it's going to be bullpen here stuff soon because I mean that's part of the reason why that last game got so out of hand is because we were pretty thin in the bullpen that day. So we kind of just let Cole eat that one for a while. So
yeah. You ever think we'll do a Johnny Holstaff day where we just give all our starters a rest and just let it like the bullpen is 2 innings here, 2 innings, an opener, all that jazz.
Maybe. I mean, now I think assuming Dean Kramer is going to be coming back, I don't have any for sure updates on that, but we're thinking he's probably going to be back sometime this week. yeah, like Brooks said, I think that means that Irvin is probably going to be moving to the bullpen. Either Irvin or Suarez, but Suarez looked great this weekend, so maybe he earned another start. So I would imagine Irvin probably didn't get his last start of the season. I'm sure at some point later in the year we're going to need a spot start, and maybe that's Irvin, and maybe that's the kind of day that we're going to be looking at when we're going to be more used to him coming out of the pen as opposed to starting later in the year, I would think.
Is there anybody in the minor leagues that we're looking to bring up? Like anybody that is I hate to say worth a damn, but anybody that we think might come up to assist later in the season?
I mean, McDermott was the only other guy I heard them talking about, really.
McDermott and Johnson. There's a guy named Seth Johnson who's in Double-A Bowie right now. He could, in theory, come up, but
yeah.
I would imagine that's where the trade deadline is going to be for. If we're going to be looking for pitching to get us through this year, not necessarily for future, I think we're probably going to be looking elsewhere. If I had to guess.
And what's Beaver? Is Beaver's a reliever?
No,
I think he's an outfielder.
He's an outfielder.
Okay, so he's not a reliever. All right.
No, I mean I guess the other person we had, Zimmerman's still down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make you very excited?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's really about.
Nothing against the guy, but we've kind of seen a little bit out of him. So, ton of home runs in June. That was 29 games in 30 days, 17-12 against some of the best teams in baseball. I think that was as good as we could hope for. Kimbrel looked pretty good, really good in one of the saves this weekend, and pretty shaky in the other one. He walked a couple guys. But he got his first 2 saves of the season in 1-run games. He was previously, I think, like 0-4. It was 0 out of 4 or 0 out of 5 in those situations. But he's looked great as of late. And to be honest with you, he's got like a 2.3 ERA and like over 20 saves. He might get some all-star looks, which I know is crazy, but I don't know. There's not that many good closers in baseball right now. So
I'll give you that.
A lot of them are hurt. A lot of them are hurt or suspended for 10 games right now. I don't think he was pitching really well before then, if I remember correctly, before that suspension.
Who, Diaz? He's having a terrible year.
Yeah. I was all excited, like, hey, man, we finally got an off day yesterday. I mean, it sucks for fans, right? It's nice having them to watch every night. But, I mean, like, hey, an off day. I mean, realistically, they had to travel. Yesterday was a travel day. They're in Seattle, so they're going to be jet lagged. So I'm like, man, that sucks. They go to Seattle, Oakland. They got one day off. Come back for Chicago and New York, and then we got a much needed All-Star break. Much needed.
I agree with you, Brooksy. I would, if I'm a betting man today, I'm betting the Mariners because of the travel day. We're going to be lagged.
Especially with this last month, and we're lagged. So,
yeah, I think the Mariners have been struggling as of late. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and Houston is won 10 out of their last 11. They're right on their ass. Houston, who looked like they were kind of down and out, we talked about earlier in this year in the podcast. They've just been kicking ass.
I think Julio Rodriguez is not playing real well right now either, from what I saw online. I can't confirm that, but I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Hey, this guy needs to turn it around." So I don't know if he started. I don't know if he's been bad all year, or if this is just something recently that he's in a cold.
I don't think he hit his first home run until like 3 weeks into the season.
Damn,
wild for a guy that talented. Let me look up his stats.
Yeah, I'm looking up too.
He's hitting 247 with a 624 OPS. That's well below league average. He's only got 7 home and 6
7
doubles.
bombs.
Yeah. And that's in a full 336 at bats. That's right around the top of the league in terms of at bats. So
it's interesting.
Wow.
He was my pick for MVP.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna go well.
Yeah, that's not looking good.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I think it was great to see the pitching staff kind of have a good series against the Rangers, like you said, with the exception of Cole Irvin. Povich, 5 innings, 2 earned. Suarez, 6 innings, no runs. Burns had 7 innings and 1 earned. That's pretty much the going rate for Burns. So it's nice to get stability out of the pen going into an off day. But yeah, like you guys said, getting that day off isn't really a day off when you're flying 6 hours to Seattle. And then when they get the day off next week, they're going to be flying 6 hours from Oakland back to Baltimore. I assume they'll probably do that on Sunday and then actually get Monday to do whatever they want to, just chill.
Hopefully.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Dean Kramer gets a start this week. Like we said, I wouldn't be surprised if Rakabako comes out with a tweet at some point today saying he's been reinstated, especially considering I don't believe our starters are listed for this whole series. Yeah, our starter for tomorrow and Thursday are still to be determined, which really tells me that I think Dean Kramer is probably going to be pitching one of those 2 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, he struggled in his rehab, but hopefully he comes back and kind of finds it. We know he's a good solid quality starter, and he can eat some innings for us. So that's really what we're looking for right now.
Yeah.
Kierstad. Let's talk about Kierstad. 2 giant homers. The grand slam on Saturday in the sold out park was electric. I don't know how that ball went over the fence. It looked like it was 6 inches inside, and it looked like he just popped it up. It was one of those things where he didn't look like he got good wood on it, and then you look up and it was over the fence, and it's just like, how the fuck did that go over the fence? Like a Chris Davis home run.
Nice wood.
What did you guys see out of him in particular this weekend? He had a big weekend.
He just has a great plate presence. Very simplistic. Now, he should never bring a piece of leather to the field, but he has a great plate presence.
He tries really hard, Brian. He tries really hard. He really does. The guy, if anything, like hustles his ass off.
Oh, he's sprinting out there.
Yeah. It's just if he's actually playing the position well, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I love the fucking high leg kick. I'm sure friend of the show Drew Burton is a huge fan of that leg kick. Scares me a little bit because I mean that's a huge timing thing, so that can get thrown off pretty quickly. But I mean, he is on right now. I mean, he is on time on everything. So fuck it, ride it while it's hot. Is again, I mean, I hate to bring this up, and I don't. It's funny because once he starts getting consistent at bats, like obviously he starts producing, but like, are the Orioles warming him up for trade bait? Is this him?
Feels like it.
Is this him to stay? I mean, I wish it was Hayes to go. Really, Hayes has looked shitty in the outfield. Let's bring that up. Talk about shitty in the outfield right now. Kjerstad's not making huge mistakes out there. Hayes is throwing to missing cutoff man, throwing to wrong bases, like bobbling balls, like giving up extra bases that shouldn't be given up. Very frustrating from a guy who has been one of our best outfielders, him and Seti.
They panned Brandon Hyde during the broadcast, and you could see how pissed off he was at Austin Hayes. And he didn't say anything. He just had that look, like
he's just staring blankly.
I think the outfield defense, other than Cedric Mullins, has been pretty bad this year across the board. I mean,
honestly,
I don't think Kowser's that good. Santander
is not. Is he great? No, but he's not making mistakes out there, right? He's catching everything he should. He's keeping people from. He's doing all the right things, but he's not giving up stuff that he shouldn't be giving up.
Yeah. Right now, I would take Ryan O'Hearn in the outfield over Austin Hayes based on what I saw over the weekend. It was bad.
I mean, look, that's got to be something that we've got to address. I think we've done such a good job at developing all these young guys offensively. I think we need to figure out a better way to develop them defensively as well, because that's going to lose us games in the playoffs. It's just going to.
Without a doubt.
What was the whole thing that I was seeing like that? I mean, obviously we saw Hayes set out like 3 days in a row and had training staff around him. while he was kind of like stretching and warming up in the outfield. Did anybody see anything other news on that at all?
Didn't hear anything. No idea.
No, I haven't heard anything about it, to be honest with you.
Okay. I just thought that was interesting, but obviously he did play last night and hit the ball well, but I think he made another fucking fumble in the outfield last night, if I remember correctly. Or 2 nights ago, sorry.
But to your point, Brooks, I do think this is a showcase for Kirsten to see what we can possibly get.
Yeah. I agree with the national broadcast was actually pretty good, I thought, in terms of, because I like what's his name? Perez that's on there.
Eduardo
Perez.
I normally do like him, and he does a good job of educating himself on the teams beforehand. I thought he was pretty good in terms of like, here are the untouchables, and I think he basically said it was Mayo, it was Jackson, and one other. Basayo, yes. And he said, other than that, he's like, I think, and the feeling that I get, the Orioles are open for business. Obviously, like Gunner and stuff like that, like that's not going to be on the table. But other Norby, Heston, Stowers, other guys are going to be all on the table, which I agree with. To be honest with you, if I were a GM, I would play it that way as well. So
I think we're going to be the most aggressive team in baseball at the trade deadline. I really do. I firmly believe that we're going to be the most aggressive team because
I think we have to be.
We have the pieces, and we know we are ready to win now.
Yeah. We've proven over the course of the last season and a half that, and even really 2.5 seasons since Adley came up, that we know how to win. We have the guys to do it at the major league level, and we could afford to lose some of this minor league talent in order to try to make a push.
Yes.
Especially in a weaker American League. I know the Yankees and Cleveland are still good, but the West is not nearly as competitive as we thought it was going to be.
Unless Houston comes back around like we think they will, like they're starting to.
Yeah, and they probably will. And that'll make this take look a little more probably incorrect. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's any way that all three of Kierstad, Mayo, Norby, I don't think there's any way that all three of those guys are still in the Orioles organization by the end of the deadline.
Well, and like think about it too, right? Because like if we want to be competitive next year, we have got to get pitching now, or we need to get it in the offseason because those three pitchers are not coming back next year. No. And if they do, it's at the end of the year, possibly. Yeah. Highly doubtful, but throw the possibility out there, right? So this is going to be the same situation next year as well. So if you can take care of it now or in the off season, obviously you're going to have to, if you don't now, or this is what you got, right? And we know what we have at this moment, or we're going to have to go out and get somebody and hope that they realize their potential that they haven't realized, like Suarez or like
lightning in a bottle.
Like Cano last year. Yeah. Obviously, Cano's very well might be pitching himself out of the. He looks. People are barreling, and he can't. He's either barreling, and then last outing he couldn't throw a strike. Yeah. So, it's definitely something that I don't think we have a choice. And I think you're right, Brian. I think this is the time to go try to win this thing. With the young guys before we need to start paying them. So it's got to happen either now or you need to make splashes in the off season and go all in for next year, knowing that you got 3 pitchers down next year. So,
yeah,
it's funny that we sit here, we talk about the negatives, and there are negatives. Damn it, we're like the second or third best team in baseball. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's a good spot to be in. It's a good spot to be in.
We're sitting here bitching about this, and I understand that why we're bitching because I'm nervous. It makes me nervous.
I say we're bitching, but we're like, all right, if we want to win the series, here's the glaring issue.
Yeah, we're scared, man. Look, we've never been in this. I've never been in this situation as an Oriole fan. Maybe you can say in the mid 2010s. we had a chance to make a run. But like,
No.
I feel like this is the most complete team that I've ever been a fan of. So I want us to do the right thing. And if it doesn't go well, then I'm going to be even more upset because for so long we've been so bad. And it's just, you want it so bad. Go ahead.
I don't think we can lose. I don't think we can lose being aggressive on pitching right now, unless that pitching just implodes, like they just suck all of a sudden, and like we make all the like it's just because the reason I say that is because we have the plethora of talent right now. We have the option to do it. I just don't see the guy. Obviously, Henderson's here, Adley's here. Mayo's probably an untouchable, so he's probably not going to go. If Kjerstad goes, then he goes. If he doesn't, we have another bat. He's probably going to take O'Hearn's spot, or however that's going to shake out. So it's almost like we can't, we can't go wrong in this situation because there's just so much talent right here.
Yeah.
Unless somebody just obviously absolutely implodes and decides that they suck at baseball now.
Yeah.
What I love about this team is last year we were young and you could tell when we went to the playoffs, we were young, we weren't ready. This year, I mean, I hate to make a joke, but now they all have mustaches and they're ready to rock and roll and ready to kick ass.
Yeah, I think
this is the time.
I think the young thing is, I think it's correct, but I think it's also like, were we young? Yes, but we also ran into a fucking buzzsaw with Texas last year. I mean, it makes you feel a little bit better that they won the World Series, but I mean, they hammered every fucking pitcher. It didn't matter who it was. So
yeah.
I think Delaware Dave actually said, just hit Corey Seager. Don't throw a ball to him. Just hit him. It'd be better off.
Yeah, just four first base.
Yeah, that's what we should do with Judge the rest of the year. I don't want to pitch to Judge at all, and it's scary that he's got Soto right there.
Guys, I can't stop fucking sweating.
Dude, I was about to ask you if you were still struggling with the sweat.
I mean, look,
an AC shortage out there or something?
No, I just, for those of you that were, I mean, before that we went live, like I went for like a run outside and it's obviously fucking hot as shit outside. So I went to go take a shower thinking, all right, that'll cool me off. I'll be good. Get out of the shower. I'm still fucking sweating. So trying.
I'm sweating looking at Colby Mayo's stats here over the last 100 games. Holy smokereenies.
Yeah. So last 162 games in the minors, which would be a full MLB season. Over 100 of these games were in AAA Norfolk, like 50 or 55 of them were in AA, and then he had a couple games in Aberdeen as a rehab. But 162 games, so this is over a course of an MLB season. 720 plate appearances, 113 runs scored, 53 doubles, 47 homers, 146 RBIs. He's hitting 311, 643 slug is outrageous. Over 1,000 OPS. This stats are available via Eric Cross on Twitter as a fantasy baseball writer, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, this is a 162 game season. You're talking about 50 doubles, 50 homers. That doesn't happen.
Elias was on the broadcast for Norfolk recently and said like they are literally trying to find a spot to get Mayo up at. Like they're trying to get him up here.
Yeah.
We just gotta figure out where and how.
Yeah.
So.
You knew how much they cared about Colby Mayo when they drafted him. Like I think they deferred money from their first round pick. I think it might have been the Hester Kjerstad draft to get Colby Mayo. They deferred money. That's how much they coveted this kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was the Kjerstad draft or maybe the Kowser draft because they went.
All right, this is bugging me. Is it Kjerstad or is it Kjerstad? Because Dustin keeps saying Kjerstad and it's bugging the shit out of me.
I don't know, dude. I think it's like potato tomato.
Gefilte fish. All right, I don't know.
Let's look up a Google phonetic pronunciation of Kjerstad.
So I feel like I hear all the announcers say Kjerstad, but Dustin's always said Kjerstad. Now I don't know what to say.
I think it's just maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't know how to speak.
I'm just Norwegian. I'm going Kjerstad.
It's Norwegian.
Kjerstad.
I'll call him Heston from now on just to make you less angry.
My last name is Roger, French.
Very classy. Very classy move
Saying
by
his
you.
name wrong. I don't know.
Classy
I've always
move.
said Kierstad. If it's Kierstad, I'm sorry. I also say Santander instead of Santander. It's easier for me to say. I'm sorry about that. Just get over it. It's fine.
I'm calling Elias and Elias.
Kyle Stowers set the Norfolk record for most career home runs in Norfolk Tides history. He now has 53 home runs in AAA. He's just continuing to mash. Sucks for him because he's been stuck in AAA, in quadruple A basically for the last 2 years. I'm not excited about the fact that we may move some outfield prospects just because I think we do have some holes in the outfield coming up with Hayes' contract coming up, with Santander's contract coming up, with Mullins' contract coming up. These are all decisions that we're gonna need to make. So I would like to keep him around, but I mean, it just sucks for him just doing this AAA MLB juggle, just in the wrong organization.
I wonder if they're planning on putting Mayo in the outfield.
Based on what I've heard from him at third base, I don't think they're planning on putting him at third base.
Yeah. I think he's going to play wherever's easiest for him, it sounds like.
I know he's huge and he has a hose, but I know that your hose is not worth it if you can't catch the ball. Yeah. Obviously, we haven't.
Begins with a D and ends with an H.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can't have 3 of those on the team.
No, we can't.
Somebody's gonna be an odd man.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it because I said this last week when we talked about the potential trade stuff. I was saying I don't think you can get rid of a guy like O'Hearn just because he's so valuable for the team. But if you can kind of slide Kierstad into that O'Hearn role, and knowing O'Hearn's probably going to get paid and be gone next year anyway, it might be something to think about. I just like the guy for not only because he's a great hitter, but because of it seems like his presence on the bench, being a little bit older and having a good rapport with the team. He also openly said multiple times that he loves this team and he wants to be on it. So I don't know. That would be a tough pill for me to swallow if they went in that route, but I can see why they would lean that way, and people would maybe think that.
Yeah.
He's accepted his role, and we touched on this. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but he's accepted his role. He understands it. He's only going to play X amount of times a week, and I love that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's so hard to come by too. It's so hard to get somebody to buy into that role too, especially somebody who's been the best player on the team and in the league that they've played in their entire life. It's hard to get somebody to do that with just ego.
I don't know why I think this. I think of Clipboard Jesus, Charlie Whitehurst, who was like, I'm a backup quarterback. I know I'm a backup quarterback. I'm cool with being a backup quarterback. That's what Ryan O'Hearn reminds me of.
Yeah. And I mean, if he makes the All-Star team, that's just going to help his trade value for us too, which sucks, which I hope, like I said, I hope he doesn't go. I understand like what's going on here and what Kierstad can slide into that role. I also thought it was really cool that I didn't know of during, I think it was the national broadcast as well, that O'Hearn played with Kierstad's brother in the Royals organization when he got drafted in the minors.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
And had a locker next to him. And Kierstad's brother basically said, wait till you see my fucking brother. And now Heston and him have a locker right next to each other in the clubhouse. I think I saw Melanie Newman tweeted that out, and I was like, that's a cool little full circle thing.
Oh, and Melanie Newman's eyebrows scared the shit out of me.
Oh man, it was great to have Ben McDonald back on the broadcast this week. By the way, it was night and day.
Automatically win 3 out of 4.
Yep. Win the first.
I could feel his Air Force Ones through the broadcast.
I love that man. That man gets if you're gonna let him walk out, pay that man whatever that man needs. Keep him on the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I was listening to something. I can't remember. I wish I could give courtesy to somebody, but they said that Ben McDonald has like the largest hands, and he held 6 or 7 baseballs in
Yeah.
his hand.
There's a picture of
What?
it somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a picture online somewhere. I think he did it at LSU, like before he got drafted number 1 overall. Like there's a picture of him. And he's also, from everybody that I've talked to, he's way taller than you think he is. Like he's
Oh
like,
yeah, he's
like
I've seen him in person.
6'7"
He
or
always
6'6".
goes to La Scala after he gets dinner at La Scala after games. He's a big boy, and he wears this black leather jacket like Knight Rider. You know, I think he drives Kit there. But he's a big boy, and that hair is pristine.
Love it. I love that he just owns it. He just owns it too.
I just sent it to you guys. There is 8 baseballs in this man's right hand.
That's nuts.
Hold on, I'll pull it up on the screen for anybody
Holy
that's watching.
moly.
Fucking bananas. You can only see 7 of them, but there's another one hidden somewhere because I see an 8 on that baseball.
Hold on, share screen. Sure.
If you ever want to see the overuse of a pitcher in college, look at Ben McDonald's last year at LSU.
Yeah,
that coach should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are following along with us, this is
see, we got to tweet that picture out. That's a great
pretty
picture.
outrageous. Pretty outrageous, I would say.
Ridiculous.
I could probably hold 3 baseballs in my hand at once.
8 baseballs.
Yeah. Gunnar announced on the broadcast on Sunday Night Baseball that he's going to be participating in the Home Run Derby, which is awesome. We had Adley last year. We have Gunnar this year.
Still might have Adley.
Still might have Adley too. Obviously, they haven't confirmed any other participants as far as I know other than Gunnar. He is second behind Judge, or he's tied with Ohtani for second behind Judge with 26 homers. Judge has 31. By the way, Aaron Judge has 85 RBIs, and it's 2 weeks until the All-Star break. Is just completely asinine numbers.
Does he touch Honus Wagner? Does he get to that number? I think Honus Wagner owns the all-time RBI.
That I don't know, but we can certainly look it up.
It's like 180 RBIs or something stupid.
Yeah, obviously, I think the All-Star break is a little bit more than halfway into the season, so I'm not sure. Actually, there's a guy named Hack Wilson who has 191 RBI in one season. Lou Gehrig has 4 of the top 12 RBI seasons. He had over 170 RBIs 4 times in his career. That is pretty.
That's outrageous.
And he was doing that when Babe Ruth was clearing the bases right in front of him.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The most recent name on here is actually the number 14 player, and that's Manny Ramirez in '99 had 165 RBIs, which is fucking crazy. I can't believe
he was also
Barry
wearing
Bonds
pajamas.
But I guess he got walked a ton too.
He got walked a ton.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez was so much fun to watch.
I got to use the little boys' room. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good luck.
Yeah, so we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out west for the next 6 games. We talked about that a little bit earlier. We're gonna be playing the Mariners and the A's. The Mariners are leading the West. The A's are pulling up the rear, and they're one of the worst teams in baseball. We're off next Monday, and then we have 2 3-game sets home for the Cubs and the Yankees. It's going to be really cool to see the Cubs. I feel like we never play the Cubs at home, or I can't think of a time when I haven't seen us play the Cubs at home in a long time. It doesn't feel like. So yeah, we're going to be playing a couple of pretty good teams, other than the A's, obviously. But we know what the A's did to us last time we played them. They took 2 out of 3 against us. So. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I want to talk about the new Home Run Derby rules, but I want to wait for Brian to get back to do it.
Yeah, let's do. Tell me a little bit about the Home Run Derby, because I don't know. Well, actually, let's talk about this. Happy Bobby Bonilla and Chris Davis Day. Obviously, the Bobby Bonilla Day is not really a huge thing anymore, since this is a lot more common now, but definitely definitely something we should bring up because he was definitely one of the first of its kind after that owner got caught up in some kind of a Ponzi scheme. So
Yeah, pretty crazy. Obviously, $1.2 million isn't quite as much as it used to be, but this dude hasn't played baseball since 01, and he's going to be paid over $1 million every July 1st until 2032. Also, Chris Davis made $9 million yesterday.
that's a nice
So
little
good
paycheck.
for Chris Davis.
Nice.
And he's going to continue to make $9 million for each of the next few years until he starts making only $3 or $4 million for like 10 more years. But yeah, crazy. So yeah, we're going to go into the new home run derby rules. So the rounds are still going to be timed, but the batters are going to have limited pitches per round. So basically, it's not going to be throw the ball, hit it, and then keep throwing the ball and hitting it, keep throwing the ball and hitting it as much as it was before. They're actually going to have some pace to it, which I like. And I also like the new rule that there's no one-on-one matchups in the first round anymore. So the first round is just going to be the 8 guys go out and hit, and the top 4 guys in terms of home runs will advance to the semis, and they'll be reseeded based on the amount of homers they hit in the first round. Last year, Adley Rutschman would have been in the semifinals had it not been for the bracket style that they did before. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to see the top 4 actual home run performers from the first round go, and then we'll get the one-on-one competition that we do like. So I think this is a good change. I still wish they went back to just outs in the first couple rounds. I understand why they do it probably for television purposes. But I think the home run derby in general and the All-Star game in general have lost their luster over the past few years, and it's nice to see them changing it and try new things.
See, I'm going to go against you on this one, Dusty. I enjoyed the rules they had last year. I really did. Now, I think some guys were skating the rules. Before the ball landed, you weren't supposed to be able to hit again.
Yeah.
And I know Bryce Harper definitely broke those rules.
Yeah.
The first year.
I just didn't think it wasn't messed up. And I feel like I want to see it before I pass judgment. But I don't know. Whatever.
I like.
We don't have a 4-hour home run derby nowadays. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. That was I guess to start from the top here. Like I'm glad they're changing it because I think a lot of people were going to start not participating in it because I think players were starting to voice their opinion about possibly getting injured because they're fucking swinging as many times as they can, as hard as they can. And they're like, their body they don't do that in batting practice. They never do that. And they're a little bit afraid of getting probably some kind of a core injury. And I get that.
Very fair.
Because I mean, you see at the end of the rounds, they're exhausted, which understandably so. I wish there was a mix between, because I like the out structure as well, but when they started taking advantage of seeing 4 fucking pitches before they swung is ridiculous. And I get it if your thrower loses his arm slot and is not throwing strikes or something like that, nothing you can really do about it. But it was so much more fun when dinger and then somebody took a pitch, dinger, somebody took a pitch, dinger, somebody took whatever it was. Maybe it's just you're only allowed to take 1 pitch in between. I don't know what the in between is, but we'll see how this year goes. Hopefully it's good. Obviously some of the younger guys are still willing to do it.
What, Dusty, you seem to be versed in this, or at least the most versed out of all of us. What is this 40 pitch thing? So they can only get 40 pitches total, excluding the bonus round.
Correct. So they changed the bonus period this year. I don't understand exactly how it works. I think the broadcast will probably teach us a little bit on that. But yeah, so in the first 2 rounds, they're going to get 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whichever comes first. So that will be the end of their round. If they're 2 minutes and 30 seconds in and they've gotten their 40 pitches, that'll be it. And then they'll go into their bonus round. I know the bonus rounds in the past have been based on hitting a couple of home runs over a certain distance.
Over like 450, I think, or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. I think they changed those rules a little bit, but I don't know exactly how that's going to work. But I am interested to see Gunnar. I think Adley showed out last year, even though he only had a one round, tenure in it.
He got buzzsawed, but he put a good showing on.
Yeah, so it would be cool to see Adley in it too. Obviously, we're Oriole fans, so I mean, we don't need to take 2 out of 8 spots in the home run derby, but we've got one of the best teams in the league, and a lot.
I think we do. I think we need to. I'll take 4 out of those 8. 4 out of those.
Yeah. It's something to food for thought. I wonder if Adley wants Gunnar to have the spotlight, and just he steps aside because he had his spotlight last year. That's just food for thought. Let's say a thought.
Yeah, and maybe, and they both deserve it. God, they're both so good.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we have 6 guys in the finals, and this is just offensive. Offensively, we have 6 guys in the finalists for all-star starters. Mountcastle's a little bit behind Vlad. Gunnar is way ahead of Bobby Witt. He's probably going to start. Jordan Westberg's a little bit behind Jose Ramirez, but I would think that Westberg will still make the team as a backup. Obviously, Jose Ramirez is competing for the MVP, so I think he'll probably end up starting. Adley's going to start. O'Hearn is neck and neck with Yordan Alvarez. And Yordan Alvarez is probably the best pure hitter in baseball over the last 5 years. So he's almost certainly going to get that starting nod, but O'Hearn's got a little bit of a shot. Tony
Taylor. Him or Mookie Betts. I'm going to take Mookie Betts over Alvarez, but
just pure hitter. Yeah, I mean, and you can make arguments for whatever, but
Going back to the home run derby, I hope we get to see Yordan Alvarez in the home run derby. That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Mammoth home runs. Yeah.
I will take money that if Ichiro was in the home run derby tomorrow, he would win.
I mean, he's got to be.
Man's still carrying his bat around.
Years old, mate. Shit, he won Rookie of the Year when he was like 30.
Yeah, he won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. And I traded him in my fantasy baseball league for Paul Konerko. Yeah.
So
Paul Konerko is a great stick, dude.
Yeah, he didn't win MVP. All right.
He might have won World Series MVP in 05 for them. Let's check.
Oh, that's a good one.
Probably AJ Puzinski.
Nah.
John Danks, maybe.
John Danks.
Who was their second baseman? Their second baseman was good too. Podsednik?
Scott Podsednik? Nah, he was an outfielder. He had like 70 stolen bases for them 1 year.
Scotty Pods.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous MVP, World Series MVP, is David Eckstein from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
David Eckstein's the man. Wow, their starting rotation was Mark Burley, John Garland, Freddie Garcia, and Jose Contreras.
Sweaty Freddie?
Ozzie Guillen was I can't find the MVP was Jermaine Dye, right field.
Jermaine
Dye.
Whoa.
That had to be the first year after he got traded from the A's or after he signed. I don't know if he got traded or signed.
Yeah. Jermaine Dye. They beat the Astros. They swept them 4-0.
All right.
Jermaine Dye, by the way, lifetime 275 hitter with 325 home runs. I would not have thought that he was that good. What a player.
Met him in person. Very spoken man. Very nice human being. He's good friends with Harold Baines.
That's awesome. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Good career.
Eastern Shore Herald.
Yep. Yeah. Talbot County, baby.
He still lives down there near St. Michael's somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, his son's a good man, too. His son is a good human being.
People don't forget. Last night, James Wood, who's the number 3 prospect in baseball, debuted for the Nats. He went 1 for 4. He scored a run. He stole a base, I believe. He is 6'7" outfield prospect who's hitting 350 in the minors. Just completely tore through the minors.
He's from Maryland, right?
giant dude. Yeah, I believe he is from Maryland.
Look it up.
He went to IMG, but he was born in Rockville. He's from
Maryland or
Rockville,
Northern
IMG.
Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, he was born in Rockville in 2002, which is that's insane. But centerpiece of the Juan Soto deal,
You're old, dude. You're old.
Actually, they've got Juan Soto. The Juan Soto deal is looking crazier and crazier because James Wood, the number 3 prospect in baseball, played last night. C.J. Abrams, who's one of the best young shortstops in baseball, started for them last night. And Mackenzie Gore, who's one of the best young pitchers in baseball, started for them last night. All 3 of which were traded to the Nationals in exchange for Juan Soto, who's still not even he's not even on the Padres anymore, but obviously he's still killing it. So I would say that if you're going to trade a superstar like that, you got to get a hell of a haul back, and it seems like the Nationals did because they got a lot of young talent on their team. So we'll see how that goes. He's a freaking specimen, though.
I want to talk about. We have on the rundown like the scouting grades.
Yeah.
Who in the hell came up with this fucking chart to rate it out of 80? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Probably.
I don't understand.
What's that terrible Clint Eastwood baseball movie? It's probably that guy.
Oh, $1 Million Offer.
No,
Trouble with the curve.
Trouble with the curve.
Yeah. Probably Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
I've always said this since I was like in high school. I'm like, where the fuck did this where did this start? Like, can we, instead of 20 to 80, could we have just done like 0 to 100? Like,
yeah, wait, what?
0 to 50, 0 to 50,
80? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the scouting system in baseball is very bizarre. So it's out of 80, and the lowest you can get is 20. So in terms of your arm, your power tool, your hit tool, your speed, and your defensive ability, those are the 5 major tools. So if you ever hear 5-tool player, those are the 5 tools they're talking about.
The person that made the ratings is a tool. All right,
yeah.
that's who the tool is. Jesus.
Yeah, I have James Wood's scouting numbers on here just to show he's a 65 out of 80 overall, which is a very, very highly rated prospect. But his highest tool is his power, which is a 70 out of 80, which is like, you're not getting any higher than that unless you're like Giancarlo Stanton levels. So we're looking at like a generational type power prospect here, and yeah, we'll see if he lives up to the hype. Like I said, he got a hit in his debut, so young kid, 22 years old. So yeah, I wanted to. We're getting into July, so we're kind of at the halfway point of the season. I wanted to get a little snapshot of the league. And talk to you guys about what's going on in each division, and who do we think could potentially break out in the second half. I think after the All-Star break or during the All-Star break, we're going to talk about our second half picks and breakouts and stuff like that. So I wanted to give you guys, our listeners, and educate us as the podcast hosts on kind of the state of the league right now as we enter July. So we'll start with the AL East. This is the division we're most interested in as Orioles fans. We're tied with the Yankees, obviously, but we're both the Orioles and the Yankees 8.5 games clear of Boston, who's in third place, who I think is a pretty shocking third place team.
Yeah.
With the Rays and the Blue Jays kind of lagging behind. What are your guys' impressions of the bottom half of this league? We talk ad nauseum about the Orioles and the Yankees. What do you guys think about the Rays, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays? What's going on at the bottom of the division?
Very surprised at the Red Sox. The Blue Jays is equally as surprising. It almost feels like the Tiger Woods fall. You know, it's like they should not be where they are. They have too much talent, and I think they're going to end up being sellers.
They gotta be. They gotta be.
And John Schneider,
he's getting fired.
I don't think he has a job. Yeah.
Nope. I think he'd be fired already if they weren't just going to wait till the season's over.
Yeah. I'm more stunned about the Blue Jays than I am the Red Sox success.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to disagree with you there. I think the Red Sox pitching rotation looked pretty abysmal coming into the year. And Tanner Houck is one of the best pitchers in the league this year, straight up, like he has been. out of nowhere. He's been a decent pitcher in his career, and he came out of nowhere, and he's been excellent this year. I don't know how the Red Sox pitching staff has been holding up, especially in the AL East, as good as all these teams are. So the fact that they're 5 games above 500 is crazy to me. I can't believe that they're in a wild card hunt, especially when their ownership group has pretty much openly said that they don't give a shit about the team or competing.
Correct.
They did that with the Mookie Betts trade, and they've done that ever since. Letting Xander Bogaerts walk for nothing was another instance. It's just crazy the way that they've handled that organization. I can't believe they're still playing 500 ball.
If your team gets bought by the Fenway Sports Group, kiss that shit goodbye. And nothing makes nothing makes me happier, because now the Pens are owned by them as well, and they fucking suck.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just don't.
Don't they own a soccer franchise too?
They own a bunch.
They just put like $300 million into the PGA Tour as well.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck,
Yeah,
fuck
that's great.
Honestly, fuck those guys, to be honest with you, because I mean they're bad for sports. Like, anybody who just doesn't give a shit. I mean, you're basically looking at the fucking Pirates owner right now, because they're trying to do it as cheap as possible, make as much money as they can. Is what it seems like. Maybe we'll be wrong here in the next couple of years, and they got something up their sleeve. LeBron's a part of this fucking group as well. Yep. It's really frustrating. I think it's bad for sports. So hopefully they actually start trying. It's bad for sports when Boston's bad in general, to be honest with you.
The UFC is part of the ownership group now too, by the way. Former Boston GM.
But yeah, I think I'm very surprised about the Red Sox as well. I think they are going to be a huge spoiler for somebody. They're going to spoil somebody's postseason, that's for sure. Obviously not. I think the Orioles and the Yankees are clearly in. I think they're going to spoil it for somebody down the stretch, whoever they're going to play and knock out in a different division.
There's only a couple wild card spots, and we've got. We'll talk about the Central now. Cleveland's got a pretty dominant lead. I mean, 6 games is not dominant, but they've looked pretty dominant in this division. They've held the lead pretty much the whole year, and they've got the Twins and the Royals both within striking distance right behind them. 6 games right behind them, and they're both holding those last 2 wild card spots that the Astros might be coming for. Texas, if they get hot, could be coming for. If either the Blue Jays or the Rays decide they want to start playing good baseball, then maybe they'll be coming for. So I mean, it's going to be pretty tight wild card race in the American League. A lot of good teams and a lot of good fringe teams. Like Brooks said, a lot of good teams that could play spoiler.
Dusty, your rundowns are fucking phenomenal. The White Sox are a dumpster fire. That's it.
They are. They stink. They should trade everyone in the organization should get traded. The minute they hired Tony La Russa, they completely dominated. They completely just destroyed their franchise.
He's asleep at the wheel, literally and figuratively.
Well, he's asleep somewhere. I don't know where he's at now.
Whenever somebody says you're asleep at the wheel, this is going to be completely off topic, but I got to say it. I always think of Jamarcus. I think his name was Jamarcus or Denard Robinson. He was Shoelaces. He played for Michigan. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He was labeled as an offensive weapon for whoever drafted him, the Jaguars. They put him as Jaguars. Offensive weapon.
Yeah, like Dexter
He didn't have a
he was
position.
An offensive weapon. Yeah. Anyway, he shortly into his Jaguars tenure, I got a text that came into my phone, and I had to read it like 50 times because I couldn't believe it was a real thing. It said he fell asleep at the wheel and his car sunk into a retention pond. And so anytime anybody says that they're asleep at the wheel, I always think of that guy, Shoelaces Robinson from Michigan.
I can't talk because I hit a fucking guardrail falling asleep at the wheel. So.
Oh man. Anyway.
AL West. Moving on to the
No, we'll talk about the Central a little bit. Let's talk about the Central. We haven't talked. We talked a little bit about the Central, but look, Cleveland's really good. The Twins and the Royals are both pretty decent. The Tigers had a pretty hot start. They're a little bit below 500 now, but they still have Tarik Scooball, who's Corbin Burns' biggest, I would say, threat to win the Cy Young, the American League Cy Young this year. So they still got a bunch of talent on that team. They could make a push or they could be sellers. But yeah, now we'll go to the AL West. Brian's got to say something first, though.
No. On the topic, kind of going back to the All-Star game, and you brought up the young man from the Royals. Who starts the AL on the mound?
It's going to be it's got to be Scooble or Burns, I would think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm asking. I don't know enough to.
I don't know who, but it's one or the other.
Yeah, Scooble's got a little bit worse ERA, but he's better in pretty much every other major category, including whip, strikeouts, everything like that. So he could start. I would imagine they'll both be there, though.
Have we ever had an Oriole All-Star starting pitcher?
That's a good question.
To start the game.
Maybe Palmer, but I don't know.
Palmer, Messina never did it, right?
No,
I don't think so.
No,
I'm throwing shit against the wall here. I don't know.
That's a good question. Look it up.
I mean, if Corbin Burns starts, that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I derailed, but we can go AL West now.
No, you're good. I've got no dice coming up right now. Hey,
Palmer would make sense, but that would be what, in the late 70s.
I found a list of all the players that have pitched in the game. Steve Stone started in 1980
for the Orioles or for the White Sox.
Actually, no, he did not. Oh, well.
Who the fuck is Steve?
Steve Stone won a Cy Young for us.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I have a Stone jersey. All right.
He's much more well known with the White Sox, I believe.
All right.
He actually does the White Sox broadcast.
Jim Palmer started the All-Star game 4 times.
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, now I feel like an ass.
Not bad.
In
Not bad.
70, 71, 72, he started 3 years in a row and pitched 8 scoreless innings. And then in 77 and 78, he got completely shelled.
He didn't care about that. He didn't care about that.
No, he didn't care.
He said the first 2 I did my due diligence. I'm done here.
Yeah, I got to get a Steve Stone jersey. That's what I got.
we got a little off the rails. We'll go out to the AL West. The Mariners have a 3.5 game lead. Actually, it might be 3 games now after that. This is stats I did yesterday, but might be 3.5 games over the Astros, who have won 10 of their last 11 games. And they're 3 or 4 games above 500 after we talked about them having a rough start. Texas and Anaheim have the same record, both well below 500, which is bananas.
What?
Yeah. This might have changed yesterday, like I said, slightly, but they're right next to each other in terms of standings. Anaheim hasn't had Drought pretty much the whole year, so the fact that they're even close, the Rangers are now a game above the Angels.
Yes, Seattle's 3. Seattle's 3.
Yeah. But yeah, crazy that they're hovering around the same record, and then Oakland is just terrible. But yeah, I think the story here is Texas, defending World Series champions. Obviously, like we said multiple times, they were a complete buzzsaw in the playoffs last year. They just got Scherzer back. I think they're hoping that they get DeGrom back later in the year, but they're just not really producing as well as everybody thought they would.
I'll say it again. I would love to get Scherzer in a trade for a playoff run.
He's a bulldog.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know that you can be sellers if you're a defending World Series champion. Can you?
It's hard. I mean, it's just I don't know. That's who somebody, if as an Orioles person, that I would like to see us go after or see if he's even available. So
yeah,
I mean, and it just confirmed it to me again the other night when he pitched against us. I mean, the guy's literally doing his rehab starts in the major leagues because he insisted on doing it that way.
Yeah.
I just think the guy is just a fucking gamer. So
he is. I think his splits are ridiculous in a good way. In his last 2 starts, or his only 2 starts. So I mean, he's still prime. He's still there.
He's not throwing 98, 99 anymore, but he's still got all his shit still good.
He also passed Greg Maddux on the all-time strikeout list the other day, becoming like 11th all-time in strikeouts, and the guy who's 10th all-time is Verlander, who's like 10 strikeouts ahead of him.
Yeah.
Crazy that they pitched on the same team.
And we beat them in the playoffs. I remember that.
That's true.
And David Price.
Four, and Rick Porcello.
Yeah.
The team was loaded.
That was one of the wilder stats is the Orioles when they beat the Tigers, they beat the last 3 Cy Young Award winners in that collective 3 years.
Yeah.
I played against Rick Porcello.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jersey. He's from Jersey.
Did you play well?
I don't remember. We just played their team in a tournament. We played against their team in a tournament.
I faced Justin Verlander, and my dick went inside my body. It wasn't good. And he told me what was coming. He
when he was at ODU.
Yeah, so he just got drafted by the Tigers, I think.
Yeah, I think he got drafted by the Tigers.
But he knew my college baseball coach. He played for him in the Coastal Plains League. So he lived around Randolph-Macon.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, Justin's going to come throw." I'm like, "Great. Who the hell's Justin?" He shook my hand. His hand was massive. He looked like Ben McDonald's hand. And then he would tell us what was coming, and the 98 sizzles. This is good. I just remember how big his thighs were. That's the one thing I really remember about Justin Verlander.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
Maybe in the Hawkeye draft you can mention his thighs.
I don't know. He's got dick pics out there that you can watch if you want.
Oh yeah. He's a 4th round pick. He's a 4 seed. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the National League. We've got the Phillies. They've been the best.
I love how
keep us on the rails here. Keep us on the rails, man.
I'm trying to keep you on the rails, guys.
I love how uncomfortable Dustin gets every time.
This is your job, Dusty. I mean, you're like a duck, just like paddling.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Who?
They've been the best team in baseball this year. They have the best record in baseball. They have an 8-game lead over Atlanta. I think this is pretty crazy. I think Brooks said it before the season when we were doing our predictions for the year. He said that this was going to be the hardest race to decide because he thought the Phillies were really good, and we all kind of laughed him off and said, "No, Atlanta's going to be there. Atlanta's going to be there." Well, look.
Well, if Atlanta's healthy.
Yeah, look, and they lost Acuna, and that's part of it. But the Phillies have been the best team in baseball, regardless. Nola's been good, Wheeler's been excellent, and Ranger Suarez has been outrageously good this year.
Well,
that's the biggest thing. Is Suarez is the biggest surprise on that team.
Yeah,
and they already have 2 studs. They already have 2 horses.
Exactly.
And then you have Suarez come out of lightning in a bottle here. Jesus,
yeah.
I mean, they're a buzzsaw.
And Atlanta loses Strider, so I mean that's costing them however many games you want to account for that. So
speaking of, they lose Strider and they fall ass backwards into freaking Chris Sale. By the way, Chris Sale is putting up Cy Young caliber numbers again after just being completely useless with the Red Sox for the last 4 years since they won the World Series. He's got a 2.5 ERA. He's 9-3. It's crazy. Just out of nowhere.
Pure slinky arm. He is a slinky arm, dude. It's nuts.
He's also an absolute maniac. Remember when he used to, when he got pissed off after the start and was scissoring up his White Sox jersey in the locker room?
Yes.
Oh no, that was they were doing alternate jerseys that night.
Yeah.
And he literally cut up the jersey because he hated pitching in the jersey, so they didn't have to wear it. Said I can't. I mean, we can't.
This is 100% correct.
So they didn't.
Right.
So they didn't wear it. They didn't wear it obviously because his jersey was all fucked up because he scissored it all up. And they're like, "All right, I guess we're just wearing our regular homes."
I didn't know that. I actually love that. It makes me like Chris Sale more.
What's crazier, that story or Garrett Cole wanted to beat the shit out of Billy Crystal because he took too long to throw out the first pitch?
I think that's just a testament to how crazy pitchers can be.
I can understand. I can understand both. So let me say this. I did have uniforms that I hated pitching in that were not as comfortable to pitch in, and we do have a regiment. We know exactly how long it takes for us to get ready, and we're told we got X amount of minutes until first pitch, and then we're not. I'm telling you, man, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Dusty, back me up on this one, man.
I mean, just like it's like Patrick Cantlay saying he has to go through his routine before he hits. It's just like, go hit the fucking ball. It's sitting on the ground.
It's like a man in a tank top still sweating. Like, what the hell's going on, dude?
Got him.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dusty, keep us on the rails here, buddy.
Come on. Atlanta's still in control of the wild card in the National League without Strider, without Acuna. They still have an incredible team, so they'll be in the playoffs, but they probably won't be winning their division, barring some sort of historic collapse from the Phillies. The Mets were terrible at the beginning of the year. They have actually been pretty hot as of late. I saw a stat. I don't know who sent it, but somebody said it in our baseball group that Jose Iglesias, former Oriole great, signed with them out of nowhere, has been out of the league for the last year, and he's hitting 400. He's been hitting 400 since he got there in the beginning of June. So good for Jose Iglesias.
Did Buck say something to them?
I don't know.
Buck said, "Go get this guy."
He's our guy. Also, DJ Stewart plays so much baseball for them, which is always fun to watch. Love watching that guy.
Great.
The Nats are young, upcoming. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they could be frisky in the next few years. And the Marlins are just fucking terrible. They've lost all of their starting pitching to injury. Their biggest trade piece at the deadline was supposed to be Jesus Luzardo. He is now on the 15-day DL, probably not going to get traded now. Their starting center fielder, Jazz Chisholm, who used to be a second baseman and just decided a couple years ago he felt like playing center field instead, and the Marlins were so bad, they were just like, all right, go ahead. He might get traded. We'll see. He's a young stud, left-handed bat, can steal bases, kind of like a young Cedric Mullins type, but not quite as good defensively. So, yeah, the NL East is somewhat competitive, but the Phillies are just running away with it.
And I know we're about to segue into the NL Central. This is my most intriguing division. There's so much talent, and there's so much. It's like they're all just bunched together. I think it's going to be really fun to watch.
The East or the Central?
The Central.
Okay.
Yeah. Milwaukee's kind of surprisingly, after trading Corbin Burns to us, holding a 6.5 game lead in the Central. Joey Ortiz has been fantastic for them. I think he's hitting over 280, 290. He did miss a little bit of time. DL Hall hasn't really pitched at all for them this year. But they just
He's still hurt.
Figure out a way. They just figure out a way. They groom these studs, they trade them, they get more talent, and then they trade them, and then they get more talent, and then they trade them. They don't want to pay anybody, but for whatever reason, their formula is working.
Is this because the division stinks right now?
No, I think all these teams are decent.
It's Cards, a good question, Brooks. I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question, but it's a good question. I haven't watched enough Central baseball to tell you yes or no, but I just like how it's so competitive.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, right? Because I feel like the Pirates and the Reds have so much fucking talent. Yeah. That they should be pushing. I mean, they should be making a push here for the playoffs by the end of the season. The Cards, I am not impressed with. I mean, obviously, I know they swept us. I get it. I just not impressed with them in terms of how they are playing in their roster and everything like that. I just think we played like absolute shit against them. Cubs, I think, are good. I think they're up and coming. And Milwaukee just keeps doing Milwaukee things. So this division is super confusing for me, to be honest with you, because I feel like the Reds should be up pushing Milwaukee right now.
I mean, outside of the Orioles, the Reds and the Pirates have two of the upcoming studs. And we talked about James Wood a little bit earlier, but Cruz and why am I blanking on the other guy's name?
Paul Skeens.
Well, Skeens. I mean, they have so much talent.
O'Neal Cruz and Ellie
O'Neal
Cruz,
Skeens, and then what's the young man from the Pirates? Oh yeah,
O'Neal. So
Cruz.
O'Neal Cruz is Pirates. Ellie Dela Cruz is Reds.
All right, there you go.
But
and then
both Cruz.
Skeens. I mean, watching Skeens pitch is magnificent. It's unbelievable. He's throwing 102. He's throwing 102 Ched, and it looks like it's no effort whatsoever.
Can we bring up the fact that he went AWOL?
What?
He just left Air Force. Just went AWOL.
Did he really? I didn't know that. I didn't know he went to Air Force.
No clue.
Yeah, he went to Air Force before LSU. I think he pitched 2 years at Air Force.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
one of our pitching coaches at Millersville was the pitching coach at Air Force, was pitching coach for him, and now he's the assistant coach at Boston College now. But regardless, Skeens left and went to LSU, but he was at Air Force while he was there.
Never knew he went AWOL ever. Never heard that.
Guy went AWOL. He hates his country. Guy hates his country. This is July 4th week.
You know how much I bash Aaron Boone for being a bad manager? I trust Craig Counsell with the Cubs. I as much as I disparage Aaron Boone, reverse that for Craig Counsell.
Cubs fans need to be a little bit patient with Craig Counsell because that guy has done a lot with not so much for a long time.
I don't think their team is very good. If you look at their roster, they're very
awful.
Good. I don't know.
They're awful.
Yeah. It's like, there's just one problem with it, Happy. You're not very good. I don't know what it is, but I just don't think he's that. I don't think they're that good. I think Bellinger's good. I think Imanaga is great. But I don't think they have that much talent on that team. The
top to bottom
is pretty
top to bottom, not great, right? But their top guys are pretty damn good. I mean, obviously with Imanaga.
I think
Bellinger's not going to be there past this year, so
no, he's not. Baseball has the manager isn't really worth that many wins, but Craig Counsell seems like he's worth some wins. Like a football coach is worth some wins.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, baseball managers, you're a
people say this about Spoelstra in the NBA. People say basketball manager or basketball coaches in general don't really matter when you get to the NBA level, but Spoelstra is one of those guys that people talk about like very highly regarded, like a guy who can take a team who's not that good and make them just like Brad Stevens did at Butler and just like those kind of.
It's funny you bring up Spoelstra. He should be in the Hall of Fame for keeping a job for 15 years at the same team. That is Hall of Fame worthy right there. Forget it.
Well, he's got a little help because Pat Riley is like the biggest advocate of this game is hard. Let's not fire everyone every 10 minutes.
And Pat Riley loves Spoelstra.
Yeah.
I think he groomed Spoelstra or he handpicked him for the job. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
He handpicked him for the job. Stan Van Gundy was there before Spoelstra. And then Spoelstra was Stan Van Gundy's assistant.
Okay.
Anyway, Dusty, get us back on the rails, dude. Let's go.
Good for Milwaukee for rejuvenating their team with younger talent and still finding ways to win. The Cardinals are, in my estimation, going to be sellers at the deadline. I don't think they're that good, and I think the Pirates behind Jared Jones and Paul Skeens are going to make a run. I don't think the Cubs and the Reds are quite there just yet. Going on to the NL.
On the Cardinals train, do you think Hicks would be an available commodity?
I think the name coming out of the Cardinals pen has been Helsley, who's been their closer for the last 3 or 4 years. He comes out to Hell's Bells, last name Helsley, which is Trevor Hoffman's walkout song. He shouldn't be allowed to use it. But yeah, he throws gas, and I don't think they'll get rid of Hicks just because he throws like 180 miles an hour.
I actually wanted to bring this up because speaking of walkout songs and how awesome they are today with the light show and everything else that goes on. when did walkout songs start? Because like Dustin and I had, like our parents had season tickets back from Memorial Stadium all the way through like 2000, say call it 2001 of the Orioles. And I don't remember like Rafi and Cal and everybody else having walkout songs. Do you, Dustin?
Not really, but
I
I'm
feel
sure they
like,
played music when they introduced the people, but I don't know that they got to
yeah,
choose it. I'm
I
sure
I
somebody
feel
made
like
that decision along the way. I
I
don't
feel
know
like the
when.
first person I remember being like, "Oh, that's fucking sick," was Trevor Hoffman coming out the Hell's Bells. Like that.
Yeah.
And then
That's like what I
Enter
think.
Sandman.
Yes,
Yeah, and
those
Enter
two.
Sandman.
Those
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to the games and Randy Myers did not have a walkout song.
Yeah.
Back when Randy
What?
Myers had like 52 saves or something like that.
But in 03, I think Gagne was coming out to Welcome to the Jungle. So, and
No,
that's
he's
when,
going to have the game over.
or whatever he was coming out to.
Yeah.
Somebody came out to Welcome to the Jungle. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was, actually, I
So
think it
let's
was
call it.
Grant Balfour. Grant Balfour, I used to call him.
No, he had that screamo song. He had a
Yeah.
screamo song. He was a weird guy.
Anyway, good for the Cardinals. Kyle Gibson, 3.7 ERA this year. Just a innings eater. Just love that
Guy
guy.
just keeps putting
Come
up
back.
solid
Come back to
numbers.
Orioles. Come back to the Orioles. Come back to the Orioles.
He just
Yeah.
always puts up solid numbers, and I don't. I see his stuff and I see like everything, and I'm like, how does he just keep putting up these solid numbers all the time?
Oh my God, that guy's pitched almost 2,000 innings in his career. What a freaking horse!
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go back. We'll go to the NL West. We're back to baseball again. Go to the NL West. Dodgers in the driver's seat, 7.5 games above the Padres. The Padres are having like terrible injury luck this year. Tatis has been hurt.
Every
Machado's
year.
been hurt a little bit, and he's not been great. And their starting pitching staff has been hurt. Darvish has been hurt a lot. But they're finding ways to win. And Jackson Merrill, who Severna Park kid, who was my pick to win Rookie of the Year, has been great. He started every game in center field for them, and he's hitting like 290. So awesome for him. I think Cease has been really good for them. And the D-backs and the Giants both hovering around 500 right behind them. The D-backs got off to a disastrous start. Corbin Carroll's been terrible this year after winning Rookie of the Year last year, which is so weird because they looked like they were such a young team poised to make a jump. They signed Eduardo Rodriguez. They had all this young talent. Ketel Marte is going crazy this year, by the way, and they're still just not winning games. Really weird. Giants have been injury bugged as well, and the Rockies stink. So yeah, don't worry about Colorado. They're going to suck perpetually, probably forever, until Larry Walker and Todd Helton come back from the grave.
And Dante Bichette. Yeah.
Well, yeah. They should get Bo Bichette. They should trade for him.
Hey, why not?
He could be the cornerstone of the franchise.
I mean, is
I'm
the
looking at our
sophomore slump real, right?
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think it can.
I mean,
be.
with scouting, I don't think it's a sophomore slump. I think it's just scouting reports.
Probably.
Yeah.
Once again, we talk about it all the time. League adjusting. And Dusty, I'm glad you put these World Series odds out here. I am stunned that the Phillies are third.
It's crazy. I mean, they've been the best team in baseball all year. Harper and Schwarber are out right now, but they're both on the 10-game DL. Yeah. I think it's just a little bit of New York and LA bias. I know the Dodgers, based on talent, the Dodgers have the most talent. I think the Yankees being above the Phillies is insane. I think the Yankees have well outperformed their expectations this year without Garrett Cole, and that's great. And it's great that Judge and Soto are awesome, but you need more than two guys on a baseball team. It can't just be Judge and Soto. The rest of their team isn't that good, and they need to get better. So I don't know. I don't think there's any way they should be above the Phillies. I think the Phillies top to bottom are better. I think they have better pitching. They're better built for October.
But put a ticket in with the Phillies right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to take the Phillies, this is the best odds these are the best odds you're going to get. Because they're not going away.
I also I don't know what Schwarber's injury is. Harper is going to be out more than 10 days.
Yeah, he ripped the
he'll
hamstring,
be out,
right?
but he's going to be fine. It's not going to be a
Yeah.
lingering thing when they get to
Yeah.
playoff time. But
What?
it could hurt.
I mean, it's a hamstring issue. That's always a lingering thing.
Well, if they're careful about
2 weeks.
bringing him back, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they think it's that big of a deal, so I'm not going to make it that big of a deal. Although, also, by the way, right before he got injured, he was absolutely on fire. I think he had 5 home runs in a week.
Mm-hmm. He was
he's
smoking the ball.
Yeah, he's been excellent this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, other top 10 teams. Dodgers are 3-1. Yankees.
And Trey Turner just came back too, right? Correct.
He's getting ready to. But Real Muto is also out for a little while, so they're kind of banged up a little bit right now.
They're built for the postseason.
They're banged up and they're playing really fucking good. So
yeah. The good thing for them is that their pitching staff is healthy, and that's really.
They have 3 hogs. They have
part of
3
the season.
studs. You're not going to fuck with them in a 7-game series.
and a
No,
bullpen.
exactly. Yeah. Suarez came out of the bullpen a couple times in the last couple years in the playoffs and was absolutely lights out. So maybe some people saw this kind of jump from Suarez coming. Braves 8-1, Orioles 8-1, Cleveland's 12-1. Astros are at 18-1. I think the Astros were like 50-1 a month ago. We should have hopped all over that.
I'd still hop on them now. I still think 18-1. I still think 18-1 is pretty
18-1.
Right
They've
now.
mate 7 straight ALCSs. They 18-1. That's crazy odds.
Nuts.
But yeah, look at the Brewers sneaking into the top 10.
Yeah,
I can't get on that. I can't get on that
either because what are they going to do in the playoffs? They don't have Woodruff. They don't have Burns. I don't know how they're going to be able to.
They have the best alternate jersey in baseball.
They have some of the best jerseys
the Brew
in general.
Crew. The Brew Crew.
Yeah, those are sweet.
And
also,
it has
the
sleeve.
City
It
Connect.
has it has a grill with a baseball on top of it. It's amazing.
Is that their City Connect?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Christian Yelich is hitting like 330 this year. He was hurt for a little while earlier this year, but he's got like, I think he reached the 200 club this year also, which is a rarefied air in baseball, home runs and stolen bases. But he's he's having a great bounce back year after a couple rough injury ridden seasons.
He
almost won 2 straight. He almost won 2 straight MVPs. Let's not forget, just a couple years ago. That guy's really good.
He's a superstar that's under the radar.
Yeah,
he's always been. I mean, for all intents and purposes, when he got traded to the Brewers and had his MVP year, like he was not. But I mean, he started his career with the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're always going to fly under the radar there at the moment, and then
they might have been the Florida Marlins back then.
He might have been.
Yeah,
they might have still been in Florida.
And then you go to the Brewers, which is another just small market team. So
it's like going to the Wizards.
Those Marlins teams had so much talent, dude. JT Realmuto, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcelo Ozuna,
Jeff
Jose
Conine.
Fernandez. I love Jeff Conine, but he's a little
Josh Beckett. What?
Mike Lowell, Dan Ugla,
Mike Lowell, and he's Cuban.
AJ Burnett.
I love AJ Burnett. Pro AJ Burnett podcast.
Yes.
So still a Maryland resident.
Yes, he is. I saw him at Kirby's last summer.
All right, that's a shame segment. Let's go.
That's a shame segment. Mine is straight in the notes. Usually we save these from each other, but I could not save this because this is the craziest thing. It's not the craziest thing. Every time I say that, I'm just like, all right, I need to stop saying that. But Jamarcus Russell, former number 1 overall pick, famously the most lazy human being to ever walk on the face of the planet.
Scissor.
He was fired as a volunteer assistant coach at his alma mater high school, Williamson High School in Mobile, Alabama. He's facing a lawsuit because somebody donated $74,000 to the school in hopes that they would use it to improve their football facilities and uniforms and equipment and such. And apparently he took the check straight to the bank and took $55,000 out right away.
Jesus.
So yeah, biggest piece of shit. That's a shame. Fuck you, Jamarcus Russell.
I even feel bad even giving my that's a shame because that is so terrible. I was going to go USA Soccer for just sucking, but
Yeah.
specifically the young man who punched a guy in the back of the head during the game and received a red card I think 2 games ago. I forget his name. He's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah.
What a moron.
Fire that coach.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely getting fired. Yeah.
I think they
He's
should
toast.
fire him right now. mid everything.
And make Jamarcus Russell the coach.
My that's a shame comes from SI writer Tyler Maher, however you say his name.
Okay.
Put out an article saying bashing David Rubenstein after he was dancing on the dugout the other night.
I saw that.
So let me read a quote from said article. While Rubenstein was clearly having a blast, there's a fine line between having fun at the ballpark and having too much fun. Rubenstein behaved more like a drunken 24-year-old fan than the team's 74-year-old principal owner. The team needs him to be a leader and a face of the franchise, not a goofy cheerleader. Rubenstein also needs to be careful about getting too carried away. While the Orioles were beating the defending champs and are having a tremendous season, it's only June. They still have a long way to go and haven't won anything yet, but he's acting like an owner who just won it all. This guy is a SI Sports Illustrated writer who is also a avid Boston Red Sox fan. And coming on the heels of Sports Illustrated having a bunch of people
AI?
called out for writing AI articles for them. So Tyler Maher, however you say your name, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry we got the best owner in sports now, and you're jealous about it, and your ownership group is a piece of shit.
All right. Obviously, we're biased, and I understand that. And anyone that watches it, we're biased toward the Orioles. What did he do wrong? Nothing. He's enjoying himself.
Every fan in the league would be like, every fan in the league who sees this has to be like, that owner's so fucking cool.
He's having fun. He's running the organization. Yes, like a child, but that's exactly how I want.
And that's why we love it.
Where we came from, I got Peter Angelos. He's sipping fucking asbestos for lunch. I got this guy who's having a great time. I want this.
Oh man.
Tyler, Taylor, Maher, whatever the fuck your name is. I hope I don't see you in an alley somewhere because judging by your picture, you have not played a sport in your fucking life.
What a bum. I hope he eats potatoes.
You fucking nerd.
You
nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah, I can't believe that guy is employed by Sports Illustrated. But look, he's got three Orioles fans really angry, so maybe he's just good.
He can blame it on AI if he wants to.
Yeah. He's probably a senior writer too. You just immediately become a senior writer the minute you fucking walk into any place now. What? Who's a junior writer? Who's the fucking junior writer?
Who's just a writer? Does anybody just write?
Yeah, just be a writer.
My penis is the junior writer.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
Okay, so by my calculations, it looks like I got 50% of the votes in the in the fictional athlete draft last
Let's add these up. We didn't do this.
So on our Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture official Instagram, I have 50%, Brooks has 33%, and Brian has 17%.
We need total votes.
I don't know what the total votes are. This is Brooks's job. He is our resident
hold on a second. On my personal Dusty 6, Brooks 3, Brian 5. Write that down for a second.
635. Wow, Brian got 5. Okay, Brian might be in second this week.
Damn, she fine. Why don't you sock it to me one more time?
Brian also took 3 golfers, so not good for the athlete situation.
And then we got
people hate me. I get it. People hate me. I tell them not to vote for me. Don't vote.
We got right. Dusty 6, Brooks 4, Brian 2 for the Gary Williams account.
So you guys are tied and I win.
Yes.
All right. So I guess me and you got a shotgun of beer, huh?
No.
Starting next week, loser shotguns of beer.
Has to
Fine.
either do a shot or shotgun a beer or do some sort of punishment via alcohol. Oh God! Can I just join you? Can I shotgun too? I'm gonna sit here solo while these two idiots go get beers and talk to you guys about nothing. I don't know what to talk about right now. We are gonna do a 4th of July foods snake draft coming up here shortly. Whenever my lovely co-hosts will come back and hang out with me and talk to me, and we're just filibustering here.
You know what filibuster means?
I do know what filibuster means. It's when you talk for so long. Usually it happens in a government setting if you're talking about a bill and you can just talk as long as you can, and then they can get a recess afterwards.
By the way, the other that's a shame was the debate debacle.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it at all in regards to volume. I just saw faces, and it was incredible to see how stupid we are as a country.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good looks for anybody. If I lived in any other country, I would make fun of us.
I hate politics. I despise them. I don't get involved in them. But just watching these two men's faces, like what is that? You're going to run a country? Anyway.
Good stuff. Good
Moving
stuff.
on. Cheers, Brooksy. Oh, wait for Brooksy. Is that brown sugar bourbon?
What? Brown sugar?
What is that?
Russell's.
Oh, Russell's. I'm doing a little Dos Hombres from Bryan Cranston. By the way,
Hombres?
Dos Hombres.
What does that mean? Two what? What are hombres?
Two brothers.
Filibuster. Yeah.
Two brothers.
Took Latin.
By the way,
a man. Two men.
Speaking of Bryan Cranston, if you haven't, show recommendation, Your Honor on Netflix. Fantastic.
Oh, he's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the main character.
He's good.
He's awesome.
He's a good actor.
Cheers, Brooksy.
All right. Cheers, boys.
Brooksy, you go ahead and take second pick. I'll go third.
He feels more comfortable in third.
I'm used to it. I'm seatbelted in basically at that.
Nah, you take second. I want third.
All right, got it.
All right.
I like having two picks.
Okay. Well, our draft is 4th of July foods. I have the number 1 pick, so I am going to take hot dogs. Those are my favorite 4th of July food.
That's my number 1 for sure. I will go with a cheeseburger.
Okay. Cheeseburger goes too. Pretty chalk, I would say, so far.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me deviled eggs.
Damn, that's early, but I was thinking about it. Deviled eggs are excellent.
I'm going to take deviled.
You're incorrect.
I'm going to take deviled eggs, and I am going to take. Give me. This is controversial. Give me pasta salad.
Fuck.
I was between pasta and potato.
Pasta and macaroni salad. All right. I will take good old American apple pie.
Okay. I like it.
That's a good answer. I like that. Okay.
I like it.
I could go.
Damn, I'm hungry now.
Double up on the winners here.
I'm sorry, I'm getting hungry.
Fuck it, we're from Maryland. Give me corn on the cob.
Giddy up, my man.
I love corn on the cob. That's a complete staple for 4th of July for me.
Yeah.
That
was on my list.
I know Brooks isn't going to take this, but you might, Rogers. Give me just good old-fashioned pulled pork.
Yeah, baby. Well done.
Pulled pork
That's good.
barbecue. I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, we're smoking a hog tomorrow, man. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, shout it out. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah. Delaware Dave, Pig and Rooster. We are smoking a hog tomorrow. It'll be ready for 4th of July. It's a 15-hour smoke, based on weight.
Wilbur has already been killed. Wilbur was killed yesterday.
Wilbur went down yesterday, unfortunately, but he's going to be tasting really nice. We're going to have an apple with a cigarette in the apple. My next pick will be another American classic, a corn dog.
Wow.
Damn, I'm like hopping between a couple of different websites trying to get a couple ideas.
I have like 20 things written down.
I have 18.
Give me a man. You know what? You guys are smoking. Give me some barbecue ribs.
Nice.
All right, that's a great answer.
Yeah, ribs were my next choice.
That's between barbecue.
Third round.
Yeah.
Third round.
I'm not gonna give you the other one that I was thinking of. So.
Well, you have another pick, so you can take.
You got another pick, Bob?
Yeah. Do I want to do another protein? Give me. You already took apple pies, didn't you?
Yeah, I got apple pie.
Give me some coleslaw.
Oh, you took it! Damn it!
I thought I might be able to get that.
And you know what? Think of your favorite coleslaw, because I know we all have different versions of what coleslaw we like the best. Yeah. That's the version I'm thinking of. Whatever your favorite is.
I'm gonna go baked beans.
Yeah, I thought about that for the last round.
Staple.
I think this makes my choice, at least one of them, pretty easy. I'm gonna take mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, what? That fell far. How did we forget?
Kirsten would be so happy for you, Dusty. If mac and cheese is cool.
That fell. Yeah. That waited. That was drafted way late.
Between so many things, I want to take another hot dog esque thing. There's also a very Maryland thing that we eat in the summer that I haven't taken.
Yeah, but I mean that's not traditionally like a. I don't know. Is it a fourth? I guess it's a Maryland 4th of July thing. No, seafood.
Oh, crabbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me pigs in a blanket. I'll finish it up with pigs in a blanket.
Well done. Well done.
I've got 2 hot dog related things, and I don't care. If there was another one I would have taken too if we have more rounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take watermelon.
Oh,
I have it written down. I think that's a great answer.
I should win this week. If I don't win this week, fuck all you.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, you're in the running. You're in the running, that's for sure.
I think these are good lists. I would eat all of these things.
I know. Yeah.
All right, man, do I play to the cards or do I? No.
Pick what you're hungry for, man.
Let's do. I mean, I think this is just such a traditional 4th of July kind of dessert that when you think of 4th of July, I feel like you have to think about this. Give me s'mores. Campfire roasted s'mores.
I almost thought you were going to go with those red, white, and blue rocket pops for a second.
Yeah, I could have done that. Could have done that too.
You guys go ahead on your honorable mentions if you have any.
I had grilled chicken. Obviously potato salad never got thrown out there. I was between pasta and potato, whichever one you like more. I like pasta better. What was the other one? A lot of people like some kind of cucumber salad.
Yep.
I did bratwurst.
Yeah, that was on there for me. That was real close to being taken.
This is the Dundalk in me. Those like crockpot barbecue meatballs that are always like
They're every event. Every event.
I have them down. I have meatballs,
Really?
Swedish or barbecue. On my thing.
They're so. I mean, to be honest, it's never anybody's like favorite thing, but they always get all of them.
They're always gone, dude.
They're always
never-
gone.
there's never
Always
They're
gone.
so simplistic. It's so simplistic.
Always gone.
So whoever makes this chart, we need to make an honorable mention section, like at the bottom,
We could do that.
because
Okay.
we get roasted for shit that we don't bring up, and we only get 5 selections.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, we deserve to get roasted for last week. So if you didn't listen to Thursday's podcast, we did 2 podcasts last week. We did a Thursday, and I think we did it. I don't know when our first day was, Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
We did our fantasy draft on fictional athletes, and I literally picked the category with a person in mind as my first overall pick, and then we all I forgot about him, and then also a shame on you two for forgetting about him too.
Yeah.
Fictional athlete, and how can you not pick Kenny Powers? Drew Burton might send me a letter in the mail saying I have revoked my best friend privileges from you because of how many hours. I mean, Drew Burton has a Kenny Powers jersey. How many hours that me and him have watched that show nonstop, especially when we were a little bit lit at the end of the night, as the kids would say. We issued an apology on Thursday, a formal apology. I will speak for the group today and issue another formal apology today. We fucked that draft up bad.
We are ashamed of ourselves.
Hey, I still got Shane Falco, dude. I like my guy.
You got Shane Falco. I literally knew, so backtracking, I knew Dustin had first pick because he won the draft before, and I'm like, all right, well, there's no way he's not taking Shane Falco in this one, and I got Kenny because I'm second, and I fucking forgot, and then all of us forgot for 4 more rounds, just completely forgot about Kenny Powers.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I took Billy Madison.
Shame on us. Again, tell me your version of an athlete.
Throwing pickles.
Some other things we didn't mention.
Other honorable mentions. Yeah, I got veggie tray, 7-layer dip, kebabs,
7-layer dip. Yeah.
And wings.
Wings.
Like drumsticks.
Yeah, I thought about wings. Buffalo chicken dips on my list.
I feel like veggie dip everywhere you go. Just get besides the cucumbers and broccoli, everything sits there.
I said veggie tray, like the rabbit food thing, like the little pinwheel.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, but it's nobody's favorite.
I think those things walk so charcuterie boards could run. I think we've got buffalo chicken dip.
What an explanation that was. Somebody put that on a t-shirt, please. That's got to go on a t-shirt. That's got to go on a t-shirt.
Buffalo chicken dip, French onion dip, broccoli. I got broccoli salad, pasta salad. I'm sorry, potato salad, and crabs. Then we picked crabs.
Your disregard for that statement was the delivery was perfect. Perfect. My blood pressure is rising right now.
Holy shit.
We're an hour and 45 minutes into this, and nobody's gonna see that.
What a statement! I mean, it's gonna get clipped and put on social media. That's for fucking sure.
Dude. Hell yeah, man.
That's getting clipped.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Put that on a shirt.
Veggie trays
walk so charcuterie boards could run.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. Look out for our graphic. Go
you guys
visit the Pig and Rooster tomorrow they got the whole pig.
On the 4th.
On the 4th. When you see this episode, if you're not watching it right now, it'll probably be tomorrow anyway. But yeah, on the 4th, go to Pig and Rooster if you live in the Baltimore area. If not, enjoy your 4th of July. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Don't blow your fingers off like Jason Pierre-Paul does.
Don't do that. Also, we're gonna probably start doing a we're going to start doing 2 episodes a week. We're going to set those days so everybody knows when we're coming out, when we're going live every single week. Obviously, unless there's a scheduling issue, we'll let you know. But we're going to set 2 days. We're going to start doing 2 a week. And also enter some of the giveaways on the Gary Williams Instagram page.
Yeah.
Because we're going to start giving away some free merch. We just ordered 100 more hats. We're going to have some more t-shirts coming on. We'll probably have some polos because we have a golf event at the Chaucer. One of our sponsors has a golf event going on in October, correct?
October 21st.
October 21st. So we'll either
Yep.
we're either going to get some kind of merch. We're going to get something going on for that. So start entering some of the giveaways. We're going to give away some free shit. So yeah, you can't get it unless you enter. So we're trying to get some free shit to you guys.
Yeah. 2 shout outs. Shout out to Matt Selva, has a kid on the way in December. Shout out to Brian Mayhew, has his second kid on the way in December.
Whoa, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations to our friends who are
I mean, we gotta give a shout out to Christopher Merrick, even though I told him to
Christopher
shut up.
Merrick
shout
and
out to
Andy
Chris
Merrick.
Merrick. Yeah, at the beginning of the podcast, we talked about him a little bit, our resident Tottenham Hotspur fan. Shout out to Chris and Annie on their new lovely child.
Margot.
Yeah. Margot Polo.
Everyone's happy and healthy, which is great. And hopefully
No,
that's the best. Friends are happy and
Margot.
healthy. I don't know, Todd.
And
I do love that name.
Thank you guys for sticking with us and listening. And we'll be coming at you hopefully twice a week, coming here shortly. And have a safe and happy 4th of July. And we'll see you same time next week.
Sounds good, boys. Love you. Take care.
Love you guys.